Your channel?
Shalom.
Shalom.
With a face peace, we're going to praise, glory, honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash.
double honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. His blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Gms Mississippi. We got Memphis, Nashville. Coming out, week out, week out, prophesied the downfall of Babylon the Great, as usual. And now people know if you don't return to Yahweh Shai, and you will be a part of the judgment that's coming upon Esau, Edom, and Babylon the Great, which is America. Look at Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Let's start at 6. I'll read down to 9.
Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh thy power. The Lord Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Which the promise is going to the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know? The Lord chose you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today to be a special people unto him, you know, that you're going to give the promises of the kingdom of heaven. You know, under his son, Yahweh Shai. You know?
Deuteronomy 7 verse 7. The Lord Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people.
We went into Egypt 70 souls. You know, and when we come up out of it, how about Shai? We was a great people. You know, we was innumerable people, man. And the Lord said, the Lord told Abraham we're gonna be at the sands of the sea. You know? So here it is. We're scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Why? Because we didn't keep the promises that we said we was gonna do. We didn't do our part. You know?
Deuteronomy 7 and 8. But because the Lord Yahweh loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he has sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Lord Yahweh thy power, he is the Most High, the faithful power, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations.
Right, so the Lord, he did his part, but it was us who brought the contract. You know, Deuteronomy 28, start at 1 Bible shop. See, that was the promise that we would have the land. You know, the promised land, and we were going to be, if we did what the Lord told us and kept his commandments, we were going to be above all nations upon the earth. You know, but the scripture's going to get into it. Got it?
Deuteronomy 28 verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
You see, right now we're not up high upon all nations of the earth, because Deuteronomy 15.
Yep. Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power.
Which we didn't do because we went after the gods of the nations. You know, we committed spiritual fornication on Yahweh Shai. You know, you got it.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
And these curses from 28:15 down to 68 are what came upon our people. Your brother eyes evil towards his brother. The woman, her eye evil towards her husband, eye evil toward the children that come between her feet. You know, and the Lord gave these curses for a sign upon his people, because according to the curses we were gonna lose our heritage. You know, but in these latter days we got those signs that let us know who we are. And it's what we do. We try the spirit by the spirit. But get the 50 to 46 something.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 46. And they shall I'm gonna start at verse 45 if I may. Deuteronomy 28:45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
See, no matter where you go in the earth, you're gonna fall under these curses because they're gonna chase you. Hey, if you're an Israelite, you're under these curses. No, you cannot get around them. Got it?
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
For a sign and a wonder upon thy seed forever. Until what? Until the Redeemer comes. And he removed those curses off us.
So this is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 6. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies.
We were delivered unto our enemies because we angered Yahweh Shai with the spiritual adoption. You know, we need that as I don't want that last curse real quick. So,
Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. And the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee.
the first Egypt we went into, we walked. And when the Lord delivered us out of Egypt, we walked out of Egypt. You know? But this Egypt that we're referring to is spiritual, you know, which is America, which is abundance. You know?
Exodus 20:2. I am the Lord Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Hey, the Lord brought us out of the land of Egypt. By the way of Yahweh Shai, you know, with a pillar of fire by night, with a cloud by day, you know.
So going back into it, this is Baruch chapter 4. I'm going to jump down to verse I started at 21. It says, be of good cheer, O my children. Cry unto the Lord, he will deliver you from the power of the hand of the enemy. For my hope is in the everlasting, and he will save you. And joy is come unto me from the Holy One because of the mercy which shall soon come to you from the everlasting, I Savior. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, and the whole God will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever.
So, hey, when we were left the land, what does it say? Tears and mourning and weeping. You know? 70 AD. But hey, the Lord, hey, we're gonna be given back into the motherland now. You know? We coming back into Jerusalem, but the ones that's crying out now, is gonna be the elect. The 1/3. Starting with 144,000, the ones that's actually putting in the work and doing the will of Yahweh Shem Shai, being the mouthpiece, calling out people back into him. You know? Gathering his sheep. Huh?
It's all about the get back. You know? But like the brother was getting into the curses. You know, and there was the Lord entering us as a people. You see, when we talk about, you know, our heel being injured. You know? So it's like a prime athlete, the earthly went back on the list. The only thing that he focused on was getting back to the prime, all right, level he was in. Yeah. So this is what we're doing as people going to live when the brothers get into. Yeah, we fell away because of our disobedience. We became, you know, weak. We became weak in every nation. We became cursed. But now the Lord has allowed us this opportunity to get back home. So this is why we're here, because we're going through the healing process to get back to that state we were in before the fall.
I got from that Deuteronomy 28 and 46, for that word sign. Because some people say, well, how do we know it belongs? How do you know this is so-called? Like, you know, this person don't fit us. Those persons are a sign to identify who the Lord's people actually are. So the word right there is Awak. Why? It says, out of biblical usage, one, a sign, symbol, a distinguishing mark, miraculous sign, an omen. And can a brother get that word, omen? Etymology.
Yep.
It says a token, an ensign, right? Proof, miracle, proof. So these curses will prove who the Lord's children are, no matter where they went. Throughout generation to generation, no matter what captivity they were under, they will be identified by these curses, you know, as a sign identifying, you know, who we are.
Yep.
It's a distinguishing mark.
Yep.
So you're distinguished. You mean you stand out.
That's it.
The Lord made it with the curses. All right. So it's like a highlight.
Yeah.
You know, you got a page. You got a highlighted portion of that page where that portion of that page stands out, where these persons highlight, you know, who we are as a people.
Monument.
Yeah, monument.
Yeah. So what happened to us was monumental. As he went into Deuteronomy 28 and 68. You know, you shall bring me into Egypt again with ships. The sign is a miracle when you came over here in chattel slavery. You know, on by way of what? Cargo ships.
Yeah.
But like the brother Young and God said, we never went into Egypt in the ancient times by means of no ships.
Yeah.
We went on feet. You know?
Got that word?
Yep.
For omen in etymon, it says to give indication of the future.
Yep.
To know or tell from omens, to predict.
Yep.
It's
It was
really
predicted, you know, it was predicted.
prophecy.
For our prophecy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what we're living out. We're living out prophecy, man. And hey, and all this was a part of Yahweh Shai's plan so that we know what to do, you know, wickedness. And coming back into it, we're gonna learn righteousness when we get that new body. You know? We're learning it right now. Huh?
Say we would serve other gods, wood and stone.
Huh?
You know? You had a crucifix, a wood crucifix, then you have the stone sculpture. Even when we went to the time of Greece, you had Serapis, right? You had a sculpted image of a false god, which ultimately you get the image of who they usually call, who they call Jesus Christ today. You know?
This is Malachi 4 and verse 2, and it reads, "But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall."
So it's about fearing the Lord, man. You know, and the Lord knows who fears him. You know, and the healing that he's coming with in his wings is going to be him delivering us out of Babylon and Greece. Same way he left, same way he coming back. You know? And we're going to be free. We're going to be free from these sinful bodies. Chains of darkness. You know? And we're gonna see the reward of the wicked. The reward, the wicked of our people, and the wicked that have been going out through the whole earth, you know, destroying the earth. Because stealing lands. You know, naming lands after him almost after himself. You know? The one that want to sit above the clouds, man. You know, above what is it, yeah. He want to be like the Most High. But hey, how about Yahweh Shai is going to take this proud devil and put him in his place? And his place is going to be underneath the Israelites. He's going to be at the very bottom of all nations, man. I'm telling you, how about Yahweh Shai through the Spirit, they help us to gather this man together and put him in the damn for that bonfire, man. What is it? Jacob? Obadiah.
Jacob should be Joseph should be a fire.
Obadiah, verse 18. The people of Israel, Obadiah, verse 16. Just as you swallowed up, Obadiah, verse 16 in the KJV. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness. And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame.
This is the point. This is your judgment that's coming upon the earth. First, you're going into 1,000 years hardcore slavery to build up the kingdom of heaven, to build up our walls, and then you get eradicated out the planet. You know, you're gonna be as though you had not been. You know, and all this is ultimately because you were created to be the wicked, and you were just created to be as nothing in the end. Man. You were created to be one less nation in the earth. You know, and this just
no, look, finish. I got a precept real quick. Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
So, hey, just he had to go to the curses, you got to drink of the cup too.
Yep.
You got to go through all this. But the scripture say, hey, if you're going to drink, it's going to become upon you double, man.
Yeah, yep.
You know? You got to get this, man. All because, why? You touch the Lord, touch the apple of the Lord's eye. You know? And here it is. Of course, you hate how about your side. That's evident. Because you can't hate who he loves and think you're going to be loved, man. You know? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know? Hey, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, when Esau is Yahweh Shem Yahushua's biggest enemy. Hey, and we the friends of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, John 14.
Yeah.
Hey, so what else can we do? We say, but prophesy, man. And we wait, we hasten the day that our Lord comes. And this is why this is what the Spirit had gathered in. It is through the Spirit power Yahweh Shem Yahushua. What's going on the earth? The brothers bringing it out. Prophesied, whether it be in the wind or whether they hear a forbear. Let them know. You know, let them know that, hey, I am coming. The Redeemer is near, man. Get that, you got it.
So Hosea 6:1, come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn, and he will heal us. He has smitten, and he will bind us up.
So, hey, just he removed us again from the land, took us away from our heritage, and he gonna gather us back, and we gonna be a people again to him. You know, in the land where it was said until you are not my people, there you should be called the children of the Most High. You know, and this is what's happening now. We're being gathered by the Spirit. You say my mouth, but the Spirit gathered with me. And this, you seeing it gather right before your eyes. And here it is, standing boldly, professing you the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua and your downfall. Same as the prophets of old. You don't want to get that Jeremiah 28 there.
I got you.
Oh, you got it.
Obadiah verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble.
For stubble.
And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh has spoken it.
There you go. And the Lord spoke. What can you do, Esau? The most proud in the earth. You can't do shit about it. But play your part.
It says,
just like everybody else does. And 2/3 got to play their part. The elect got to play their part. Esau, and you got to part in that role as well.
Yep, I got you. Jeremiah 28:8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
It ain't no coincidence that you got prophets doing the same thing that the prophets of old did. You know, and the scripture say, hey, the spirit of the prophets are subjected to prophets.
Yeah.
You know, so hey, the men that was doing what they was doing in the past, and they come back in the same lot doing the same thing. No new thing under the sun. You know, hey, just as Esau fell before, he gonna fall again. But this time, hey, that's it.
That's gonna be
that
it.
is it, man. So hey, you don't have a place in the earth again. You know, your rulership has an expiration date.
Oh.
And for the people that are damn, you know, they really don't want to believe that this kingdom is falling. Hey, look at all the shit that's going on the earth, man. Look at Esau. He at war with what? These other nations. Man. He is some shit that he don't even want to really be in. And he hey, shit, Russia got these people scared as hell, man. You got it?
Real quick. Job 14:5 seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
And you got a certain time where you got to get the hell out of there. And that time, hey, the Lord know when it is.
Yeah.
You know, no man know the day or hour, but guess what? We can tell you about the prophecies, and this shit is winding down fast. And Yahweh Shai's on his way. And look up when you begin to see these things, hey, just know that hey, the Lord is real, man. We can tell by what? By how Satan is divided amongst himself right now, man.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you can tell all the friction that's going on even in the streets. The number of men in Mexico, yeah.
Measuring the times. No, I was just saying measuring the times.
Yeah, measuring the times, diligence, man. Get that in Matthew.
So Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 9. Then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
So what's been happening right now? That seed has been planted for the elect to grow up again. When they come out of it, it's tails in the stall, man. You know? Hey, Yahweh Shai, again, he gonna be the head chief of the planet, man. You know? King David, the 12, you know, the 144,000. Everything in this order. Hey, and that's the problem. Earth is out of order. That's all this chaos, all this shit Esau about to try to come down with. He only bringing his end. He only aiding his end. Doing the bidding of Yahweh Shai. On the left hand side.
You wanted that again? All right, Jeremiah 28 and 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Esau got the documents how he know these old these ancient kingdoms failed. He know they failed. Hey, Esau know Egypt was smitten with the plague of the Lord. He know he got the documents. He know that the Israelites were in captivity then. He know that they were free. That's why he making all the damn movies. But what he's not putting in the movies is how the Lord is gonna come and redeem and bring down America. That's what he's not putting in the movies, man. But guess what? We're telling you the movie. And the Lord is gonna make it happen, man. Hey, what is prophecy? Because say before. It's already written. It ain't gonna be changed, man. The movie's already written and we got the script.
That's Isaiah 61 starting at the top. I'm gonna read through verse 3. It says, the Spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai power, is upon me, because the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and to the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn.
Like I add, say to loosen them that are bound.
Yeah.
Because our people have been bound by the enchantments of Esau, by Christianity, by Islam, street culture, black culture, okay, Republican, Democrat, all these different ideologies that have had our people bound, all right, for centuries, man. But now, with his word is going forth, and the Spirit of the Yahweh Shai is breaking the binds off our people's minds, okay? So now, the minds of the elect are being freed from the enchantments of Satan, okay? And this is the mission Yahweh Shai was on, and we continue on in that mission today. You know, as Yahweh Shai was doing from the disciples, later became apostles, they did it in their time. Now we're doing these things in our time. We're carrying on that legacy of Yahweh Shai by loosening the minds of the elect of the enchantments of God.
That's because no physical slavery no more. It's mental and spiritual slavery now. You know, they don't have to physically bind you up. You know? Hey, get that small one. Go ahead.
Yep. Hebrews 4 and verse 12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword.
Sword. You got things called a sword. Hey, a sword got many purposes, man. You know, swords that stab you through, you know, bleed out. Okay? That's why, you know, there's particular people, you know, they ain't heard one precept that the brother brought out, and they ain't heard right something. You know? They were wounded. They never recovered. And then what else can the sword do? It can wound you. But then a sword can also cut you loose from something. You know, you can be snagged on something and sword can cut you loose.
Yeah.
So this word has many purposes, man. If it's meant for you to be condemned, the sword gonna cut you up. You know? This sword is meant to edify you, like it's gonna cut you loose from them enchantments, man. And begin to work on you, man. And it's quick. Because you can hear one precept and it change your whole way of thinking. You get to looking up Christians and shit. That's it, you know. If that sword that cut you loose, you know, you go to Jeremiah 10, you're like, you say it. Yeah. You know, that's the thing that convicts us, like,
It says it.
Right there. That's Christmas right there.
Yeah.
Plain.
That's it.
It's safe.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's exactly what they do for Christmas right there.
What has happened, you know, the Lord has made his men like swordsmen. If it's meant for you to get cut up, you're going to get cut up. If it's meant for you to get cut loose, and it's going to cut you loose. It's going to cut it around, that bullshit, cut you loose from it. No, you got it, bro.
Hebrews 4 and 12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword.
It's quick. So it don't take all, we don't have to go back and forth. We don't got to beat it in you. It hit that switch quick. It's like clap on. Light come on, you see it. You know? That's why you say, you stir up your pure mind by way of remembrance.
Though you once knew this.
And it say that those defiled things fall into her. So in your conscience, you talk about the conscience being seared with a hot iron. If your conscience is already seared, it's opened up to the Most High, whether or not you get this. You know? Because like the Spirit is doing the gathering. Like you said earlier, the Spirit is doing the gathering. We're just preaching the word. The Spirit behind this word is what's opening the eyes and turning on the lights. You know? Go ahead.
Hebrews 4 and verse 12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit.
Yeah, it pierces the spirit. Okay? And this is 2 Corinthians 10 and 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the power, but mighty through Yahweh Shai power, to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh Shai, and bring it into captivity every thought to the obedience of Mashiach. So your thought process is going to be brought into the captivity of righteousness. So these words are going to captivate your mind. You know, that's what it means by the Spirit is on us to bind up the brokenhearted, right? Because the brokenhearted means you don't have any state of stability. You easily swayed. Anybody can come and tell you anything, you run with it. Your mind is broken. So this word is putting it back together. Like, look, I stir up your pure mind by way of remembrance and bring you back to the obedience that caused us to be in captivity in the first place. You know, us rebelling against the word of the Most High is what caused us to be in this predicament we in. So there's only one way back to righteousness. You know?
Fencing out. It says, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
That's why we can tell you saw evil before you do it. So the Spirit already made it known to us. The Spirit of Yahweh Shai, which is what? Prophecy. These books, right? The Bible means what? The books, right? These books are full of the Spirit of the Heavenly Father and the Son, and that Spirit is prophecy. So that gives us an edge over everything else in the world. We already know what these people gonna do before they do it, including our own people. We know our people gonna reject us. The Lord said we made a spectacle unto the world. You know? So when we come out here, we're not looking for any validation besides what's already written in the scriptures. You can do nothing against the truth before the truth. So the more you deny it, you only fall into the lot that's written in the scriptures that was already accounted for deniability.
Everything else, scriptures account for everything.
They count for everything.
And it's like really, because whenever you do anything, it's about preparation.
Yep.
When you go to war, you play sports, okay, like build a project, well, preparation is vital.
Yep.
So the Bible gives us the mental preparation for every angle you can come from. You know? Nigga like that, nigga come up, stop, you know, shit say the last day that okay? The nigga false prophets, well, scripture say there's gonna be false prophets in the last day.
Yep.
Then like you said, perilous time.
Yep.
You know, here it is, like we have to see, like, you know, all these things.
Yep.
It's one of them.
Yep.
But here it is, you know, you fearing your life with the red light.
Yep.
You know, like you scared to stop at a red light.
Yep.
It shows you the time that we are in.
Scared to drive to certain neighborhoods.
Yeah, it shows you, it's the symptoms that we have to end time.
Yep.
Going back into every word that we get into around the word piercing.
Yep.
It seems like you in a sword fight and you get poked up. Okay, and you might get away from the fight.
Yeah.
But you still gonna be bleeding out.
Still gonna be bleeding out.
So this is like people come across these videos, they're really entering into a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
They're getting cut up. So you can turn the video off, but you still bleeding out. That's why they on YouTube
Making TikTok,
yeah.
talking shit.
They bleeding out.
They bleeding out.
Yeah, they on video bleeding
Yep.
out because it said it pierces your thoughts.
Yep.
So now your mind being pierced, and now your thoughts just flooding out.
Yep.
You can't even control it.
Yep.
You know, because you can't stop the bleeding of certain moves. You just bleed out. And this is what we see with this word. It's causing everybody that's not a part of it to just bleed out.
Because you're going to be held captive by this word regardless if you accept it or not. The Lord said, everything that exalts itself against this, you know, every thought should be brought into obedience. So you can reject it all you want to because ultimately a reprobate can't do nothing but reject it. But that don't mean that these words ain't weighing in because they've been activated by prophecy.
Their vocab.
He can't help himself.
Vocab been bleeding out.
He's still going all over London.
It don't just stop. He done gained weight, you know what I'm saying? But really, even him gaining weight, they go to him trying to find some comfort. He's been getting that comfort food.
Yup.
And he's been trying to find some comfort for his mind.
Yup.
Because he got cut up years ago.
In Dallas.
Yeah.
Yup. In New York.
Yeah.
That way.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still got blood out there on the streets, man. Yup.
2 Corinthians 10 and verse 4.
Yup.
For the weapons of our warfare, 2 Corinthians 10 and 4 in the NLT, we use God's mighty weapons, not worldly weapons, to knock down the strongholds of human reason
Yeah.
and to destroy false arguments.
Because now, if you notice, we saw with the movies, with Jesus Christ and the white man, so-called white man,
Yeah.
they used to come out often.
Yeah.
They don't come out anymore.
Nah. Passion Christ is last one I remember.
Yeah. They don't come out anymore.
About 20 years.
John 3:16, the false understanding of it, you don't do that anymore.
Nah.
Those things have been cast down. The reason behind all these false arguments is being cast down, man. See, the only thing left this devil got is to lie and come with the sword. Because there's nothing he can do against his word. Because he lies and holds up his word. So the devil is saying he's weird in his counsel. What you think he's weird about? He's weird about this word coming out. Because this word, like we see right out in Jeremiah, it says what's to uproot, to destroy. See, this word is the biggest threat to his kingdom. You know? And this word is uprooting everything that he established. Because he established the kingdom of lies. Okay? So now these lies are being uprooted by truth. You know? got, bro?
Verse 5, 2 Corinthians 10 and 5 in the NLT. We destroy every proud obstacle that keeps people from knowing the Most High.
And people choose of the elect. See, if you're part of the elect, all right, and you're watching, you're following the ministry, all right, the things that used to be obstacles in our mind are getting cast down. You know, because this devil, his whole system is to be anti-Messiah. You know, from our birth throughout the life of this society is to be anti-Messiah. Okay? Even the way that you're born.
Yeah.
Okay? What's the first thing you do? You put the juice in. And then you put you on what? His woman. Okay? All that's an attack on the mind. Then he what? Put you through this and put you to school with anti-Messiah, all right, ready to be school. Yeah. Darwinism and all this bullshit.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And he glorified the Greco-Roman age and don't mention nothing else. You know? History is Greco-Roman and the Pilgrims.
But there was a
Pagan
part
Roman
that
Empire.
because he couldn't help to take it out of him.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And one of the causes identifiers in the scriptures is the Maccabees.
Yeah. Yep.
And people don't even
Starts out with it.
yeah.
Immediately.
People don't even put those two together. The Greeks and how they persecuted the Greeks. Because that's a foreign concept. You know, but everybody know what so-called happened in World War II.
Right.
Yeah.
With the gas chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know about that, but wait a minute. If y'all the Greeks, well, who would these Israelites if y'all was from? If y'all the Israelites,
Yeah. I can all be
the Greeks
yeah.
and the Israelites.
Be both.
You persecuting your own damn
Yeah.
people.
No, no.
Finishing it out.
I got something else.
Finish out 2 Corinthians 10 and 5 in the NLT. We capture their rebellious thoughts and teach them to obey a Mashiach.
Yep, going back to rebellious thoughts. Right, because
I try to go. I can truck wait on the truck. Go ahead.
just to say real quick, because the Israelites did go we talk to people, disrespect the Father. Yup. Worship the Father. Yup. Operate off our low nature. Change the game, man. That's why when we come into this thing, well, we have to be going into it, we come through it. Because everything you taught was rebellion, man. Yeah, bro.
Appreciate it real quick.
I was gonna say, one of the most rebellious thoughts is that the law is done away with.
Yeah.
You know, and when just going back to what the God foundation was, the curses came upon us for us being disobedient to God's laws and not His laws. But on the other hand, you got Christians that say they love God, they got faith, but one of their main concepts is the law is done away with.
Yeah.
That's a rebellious thought.
Open rebellion.
That's open rebellion. The scripture says it was your mind before it's straight, 10 times more. So how are you going to get to know the Most High if you don't know His judgment? Not only do you not know it, you don't even honor it.
Yeah.
You don't even respect it. Yeah, you don't know.
Now Isaiah 1.
And 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
What I'm
They
talking
don't
about?
consider. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even consider it.
Okay, I put you said that. First John 2:4. He that saith I know him and keepeth not his commandment is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
Right, so we telling you, and you look at a lot of these guys, they try to come against the doctrine that we teach with dreads,
Yeah.
beard shaved off. If you can't understand those little small things, how you gonna tell us about 70 AD? And how you gonna tell us about
Babylon the Great.
yeah. How you gonna tell us about CBDC, you know, how you gonna tell us about what's going on in the economy concerning prophecy, mark of the beast? You're not even qualified, you know?
So, what? How you gonna tell us about who Esau is?
You can't really tell us nothing really. You know, if you're not able to keep the simplest things, you know. Now I'm gonna say this, brothers have a certain level of knowledge, but the men that are the most endowed with the spirit are those that keep his law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
You know, the meat. He said, can you go back to Isaiah 61? The meat, man. You know, and this law was made to humble us. That's the reason why we were in the predicament that we were in. Jacob was unable to, because of that stony heart. You know, Jacob was unable to be humble. You know, because it's humbling for you to accept the appearance that the Lord said was holy. You know, don't get no line up. It's not, it's against nature for a man to have long hair. According to nature, that goes into the force of the laws. And everything makes sense. Like the purpose of you not having long hair, it should be common sense today when you see one of these Decepticons walking down the goddamn street.
Yeah.
If you look at them from the back, sometimes you might think that's a goddamn woman.
Yep.
Turn around, she got a, you know, it's a shim. You know, it's not a him, it's a shim.
Isaiah 61:1. The Spirit of the Lord, that's like Isaiah 61:1.
Go to 2. Yep.
Isaiah 61:2. To proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord Yahweh, and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes.
Yeah, to give unto them beauty for ashes, to give them corn. The Lord said, set a mark upon them the sign crown for all abomination. Abomination going to sin, wickedness. But what is sin? The transgression of the law.
Yep.
You know? If something as simple as keeping a beard on your face, not committing adultery, not bearing false witness, something as simple as that, you will compromise, right? And say, well, I don't got to do that. God, the Lord died, but you know, I don't have to keep the law. The Lord died and washed all sins away. And you know all these crazy ass ideology they have. You don't compromise with the law walking down the street. Like, oh, God did. He said that's
That's why everything that goes with this society, people have strayed away from the standard.
That's it.
But even like you said, bro, I've been thinking about what you said, like nature itself.
Yeah.
Because like even looking at nature, like you can easily differentiate a male deer from a female deer.
Got the horn.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A male lion, a female lion.
Got the mains.
See that? Like, that's the thing about the law. People try to make like the law was stressful. But the law is really just let
Simplify
things be.
things.
Yeah, because like you say, when you sin, you gotta work to sin. You gotta work because you gotta shave your beard almost every other day. Okay? You got razor bumps. So now you gotta work.
Now you gotta find some type of
Cream, yeah.
You know,
And then it's a lawful thing to let the beard
just
grow.
let it be.
Most of the food that's not lawful, you gotta work to eat.
Oh,
Crab,
skin.
lobster,
Yeah.
crawfish.
You gotta skin a catfish. All you gotta do is scale the fish.
Yeah.
What's easier, scaling or skinning?
Yeah.
You know, a crawfish, you gotta goddamn go get some goddamn.
There's a
shrimp.
particular tool for that
Yeah,
shit.
you gotta go get a fucking
How you
tool.
eat the orange? You gotta fry them motherfuckers.
Yeah, you got the oyster little knife. They literally call it an oyster knife.
Yeah.
You got it's too much damn work. You fuck around and stab your damn self.
The chicken, the beef just right there.
Yeah, right there. And the thing is, when you look at it, like you were speaking about the razor bumps, that only affects the Israelites. And and it's like, just that alone, that should be an indicator that we are set apart from the rest of these people.
Even
It's
the
like,
diet on it, dude, like,
Yeah.
they saw they eat pork, bacon, every fucking
be
morning.
fine.
Like the American standard diet, that shit work for Esau.
Yeah.
Then we eat that shit, you got high blood pressure,
Diabetes. Cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, after we got all that bullshit.
Yeah,
They, them niggas
Back to the all through that.
eat the squid alive with the ink gushing out and shit. The nigga look fine as hell. You know, he good. So
and showing you that the spirit of an Israelite is unique.
yeah.
It's different, it's set apart.
They eat that pork chop, whole left side on the arm.
It's true.
Reality shit.
He just switch to the right side.
Yeah, like you can't eat this side anymore. Let me just get this, dude. And they got a right hook for it. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah.
Fuck you up even more.
All because you could avoid that shit by what? Religion.
Yeah, even with the medicines, yeah, like you said, it works for Esau. It don't work for us, and that's because Jake. The scripture speak about a wise man will not abhor them. Speaking about the herbs and stuff.
Herbs, medicines in the herbs.
Yeah, that's really for Jake.
Yeah.
But Esau can go and take 20 pills and beat cancer.
Yeah.
But Jake can't do that
He
shit.
go through chemotherapy.
Yeah.
The shit don't take a toll on him the way it take a toll on him.
Mhm.
You know? Like you get Psalms 147:19. You had something.
Rock 18:1. He that liveth forever have created all things in general.
Who that live forever? The Al Shah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will.
Yup.
For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from men.
Right. And where you find the division of those things? In the law. Leviticus the 11th chapter. You know, the entire book of the Bible has, laws, principles, morals, and standards. You know, you have the Torah that has the strict, laws, the do's, the don'ts, the ceremonial, the dietary, the sexual morale laws, Yeah. The agriculture. Yup. Everything. Yup. The way we're supposed to govern amongst ourselves and the way we're supposed to govern the earth. It's all found in the word of the Lord, in the law. Who did he give it to?
This is like, I got that song.
Psalm 147.
Yeah. This is Psalms 147 and 19.
You'll get that in the Maccabees. How we get punished on like it ain't no, we get knives up front.
Yep.
Go ahead, bro.
Psalms 147 and 19, it says, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation.
Right, he said, is it not for you to know judgment?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep. And as for his judgments, they have not known them, praise ye the Lord. Yahweh.
Who has not known them? The other nations. Right? That was never, that was a sacred inheritance. The law, statutes, and commandments is really an inheritance. Okay? And, because we always go into how the land is the inheritance, but before we got the land, we got what? The laws to govern between ourselves and to govern the land with. That was more important than us getting the land, because no matter where we went, these laws, statutes, and commandments were supposed to be assigned to identify us. Get Deuteronomy 4 real quick.
Yep.
A wise and understanding people. This is your wisdom in the sight of the nations. But our people have taken these words and trampled it underfoot and took it as a thing to be frowned upon, to be, disrespected.
Deuteronomy 4, I'll start at verse 5. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
See? So keeping the commandments came with power. Not keeping the commandments came with condemnation.
There you go.
Have us brought low. Because either way, the Lord gonna get what he want out of us. He's humble. He's gonna be humble through righteousness, and he's gonna be humble through the wicked ruling over you. Because us being a simple people allows us to be in the hand of simple people. Lord disown us, man. Y'all got something? Go ahead.
Amos 3:1. Hear this word that the Lord spake against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying,
You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
So you say he has not dealt so with any other nation. You only have I known. You can't get around this. You can't skip this. You can't make these scriptures not these foundational scriptures and identifying scriptures that prove salvation is exclusive. You see? So, if you look at, can I go to Luke 18 and 7? There's nothing here.
Shall be brought to the
No,
light.
Luke 8 and 17, I might gotta use stuff. There's nothing hid, it shall not be manifest. And then it say, you can back it up. Yeah, and then I want you to read that and verse 17 and 18, right? Go ahead.
Luke 8 and verse 17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Right, so we're in that time where, because one thing that these heathens tried to hide was who the Lord's people are. Going to Psalms 83.
Yeah.
They take crafty counsel and consulted against our hidden ones. You know, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. What he said, you only have I known these laws, statutes, and commandments. It's a spirit that is activated. That law has a spirit that is activated in his people.
Yeah.
And whether they keep it or whether they, you know, whether they hear or whether they forbear, whether they obey or whether they rebel, it's going to be an identifier who the Lord's people are. Because who else besides so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans on every corner around the whole entire earth prophesy, telling you about the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments? What other nation doing that?
Right.
Okay? So that's the right side of it. Then the left side of it, our people not keeping the curses. Who else besides so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans in the prison, occupying the prison system? Occupying the ghettos in the lower state, you know?
Raised, targeted for distortion.
Yeah.
In the hospitals.
Yeah.
Luke 8 and verse 18. Take heed therefore how ye hear.
Take heed therefore how ye hear. You know? Because people, like Scripture talk about people having itchy ears, people are just ready to hear what makes them feel good. And that's not what the Lord's about. This word was always about humbling us. You know? It's a reason why the Lord kept spinning the block through the wilderness when we came out of Egypt. You know? Yeah, we was too proud. And the power that he was ready to give us, we wasn't ready for it. That generation wasn't built for it. You know? So now through all these captivities, because this is the worst. Because in all our previous captivities, we pretty much knew who we were until Esau Edom came in the power at the time of the Greeks. That was the process of us being completely unidentifiable. You know, because we didn't have the ability to even identify ourselves as Jews, Israelites, Judah on down to Issachar. We had to identify as a Greek. So that time right there was Esau Edom's rise to power. And what did the scripture say? He's the basis of men.
Yeah.
And who is he? The wicked, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. He's adverse to the righteousness of the Most High. And he knows that the Most High requires righteousness out of us. Him knowing that, what does he do? He puts us in these environments. He gives us these cultures that promote what? Us rebelling against the Most High. Because he understands our power is brought back through obedience. So as long as he can keep us in that rebellious mind state, we can have his way. If you say everything is about, you were just saying it earlier, everything is about preparation. You know? He said, he accomplishes a diligent search. You know? You got it, bro.
We can count this bag of what you said in the Greek. Book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 4. When the temple was filled with wine and reveling by the Gentiles who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that, brought in things that was not lawful.
Yeah, so they took our inheritance and did what they wanted to do with it. The places that we deem holy and sacred, they made those places abominable. You know, they defiled our temples. They tore down our holy images. You know, our high holy gatherings. They made it a place of prostitution.
Said the altar also filled with profane things which the law forbidden, neither was it lawful for a man to keep 7 days of ancient feasts or to profess himself to be a Jew.
There you go. See? And that's why the scriptures, when you go to the time of Apostle Paul, it said there's no difference between Jew and Greek. Meaning those Israelites that knew they were Jews were just as valuable to the Lord as those that were Jews but identifying as Greeks. Repentance is still opened up to them because they still are part of the promise.
They are their seed.
They are their line.
Yeah, because going back also, even using this current setup, you can't identify as an Israelite and be recognized.
Nah.
Okay?
Nah.
Put a little side application that you're an Israelite.
It ain't even an option to check there. You gotta put other.
Yeah. Or write it in. See?
And if you write it in, you gonna get some questions behind it.
Yeah. So, same thing applies today, like the brother said, because once we identify with who we are, that's the first phase of modern culture.
That's it.
Hey, because that's why when say if you go to the hospital, you get an X-ray. What are they doing? They're trying to identify what's broken.
Yep.
Then they come with a plan after that. So
They can repair it.
yeah. So us understanding who we are, that's the beginning of us beginning to heal.
That's it.
Like, oh, because once you know the beautiful thing about the truth, once you start to understand the piece of it, everything else starts to fall in place.
That's it.
You know?
That's it.
So this devil, he knows that these people identify them. At least they got the records of what King David was doing.
Yep.
They got the records of the Maccabees and how that shit went down. How power was helping us. You know, we read these things, but they know who we are and they know, okay, the potential of these people being going back with their power. We're done.
Hey, when we went down to Paris, you know, heading towards Murray, Kentucky, you know, this post, y'all met us down there when we went on the Panther.
Yeah.
Now that was just a model ship of the slave ship. The Panther was one of the slave ships.
Yeah.
When you go down in the bottom of that ship, the whole history of Israel is on the wall. Going all the way back to King David.
Yeah.
Whole history. Now why is that history on the slave ship?
Yep.
On the bottom deck? Where the slaves was kept? Yeah. So they let you know they know. They, like the brother said, they got the records. And that wasn't the actual ship, that was the model ship. So that means they trying to give you a replica of what the real ship was like, so most likely that history was on the real ship. When we went to Paris, Tennessee, about 3 hours from here, about an hour from a little over an hour from Nashville.
Yeah, about 45, yeah.
Right out there from where y'all at it really, what is about 45 minutes or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, about
So
45.
it's right at the border of Tennessee and Kentucky, right?
Little country shit.
Yeah, on the Kentucky Lake. That's where they had the ship at, but it was a model ship of the Panther. And we went on there, we did a little documentation, you know, we did little videos and whatnot.
Yep.
But they had all that information on the wall, man. Yep,
Just-
all the history.
Some of the first early churches, how they had the Hebrew written on the pews and shit like that.
On there and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
So,
stone.
model ship, you know,
Yeah.
that's just like when Christopher Columbus came over here. He had Hebrew interpreters, man.
Yeah.
You know? They knew what people was over here on the side of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Got that, Luke 8 and 18.
Yep.
Luke 8 and verse 18. And this Yahweh shall speak. Take heed therefore how ye hear. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given.
Meaning whosoever has what? Is truth. You know? Who has ears to hear this truth, right? You're gonna be given more. Right? Go ahead.
Let's get in the NLT. Luke 8 and 18 in the NLT. So pay attention to how you hear. To those who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given.
There you go.
But for those who are not listening, even what they think they understand will be taken away from them.
Yeah. Yeah. So both mentally and physically. Because one thing about it, the Lord has given us the mind to understand the things and the people and the certain games we have, how to deal with, how to be content with what we have, how to appreciate things, how not to be too attached to nothing, you know. So people's minds are more engulfed with worldly gain, you know. Why people say, what should a profit man to gain the whole world?
He loses his soul.
And Esau, being the covetous type of man that he is, our people latch on to that spirit. That's why you see on these social media sites, all this narcissistic type of mindset. You know, when really the concept of the Lord is teaching us is truth, is to lay down our lives, you know, to be a servant. Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? That servant. Yep. Yep.
Luke 8 and 18 in the NLT. So pay attention to how you hear. To those who listen to my teaching.
Hey, he said, those who listen to my teaching, go ahead.
More understanding will be given.
So that's your reward of obedience. The Lord give you more understanding. See, because through faith and obedience, the Lord rewards us with more understanding. And what's going to be stability of the times we're coming into? Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Okay? So we're being rooted in understanding so we can be unmovable in these times, man. Because going into these times and not knowing what you believe, okay, not being rooted in anything, you're going to be for the taking, man. Okay? That's why Esau pushes so much confusion. Because he doesn't care, all right, what you believe as long as it's not the truth. You know? He'll give it down what you believe as long as it's not the truth. Yeah, because if he can keep you confused, he got you when he bring the pressure. You got it, bro.
Finishing it out, verse 18. But for those who are not listening, even what they think they understand will be taken away from them.
Yeah, even what they think they understand will be taken away from them. All right, now, hey, we were talking about that earlier. How now everybody expert in terrorism.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, niggas think they understand politics.
Yeah.
Niggas think they understand the Constitution. You know? Niggas think they understand economics and business. No. People are getting set up for the ultimate failure. Because they think that this devil is subjugated to following the law that he made.
Yeah.
You know?
To honoring them as people
Yeah.
that, for lack of better words, control the government and make government decisions.
Yeah.
You know?
Because if you're still a Christian, you're falling behind. You don't understand anything. If you still buy into this man's politics, okay, you don't understand anything.
Yep.
So what's happening is people are becoming more and more confused, okay? And we come into these times, and guess what? Those that obey Yahweh Shai, they're being more built up and prepared for these times. You know? And that's how this devil operates, man. As long as he can keep you confused, he can always take 20 steps ahead.
I got something else.
Oh yeah, you got the answer. Get yours, we're going to read it down and then we'll throw it down.
Second Ezra 3 and 28 in the DNG. I said to myself, perhaps Babylon has been allowed to conquer Jerusalem because the people who live there are better than we are. But when I got to Babylon, I saw more sins than I could count. And now for 30 years I have seen many sinners here.
Yep, so he was thinking that the Lord allowed Babylon to conquer us because we were worse than Babylon. But that shows you that's what Brother Dr. Memphis said earlier. The Lord, He don't never let us get that far. No, He only let us get to the point of where the He can get to before He intervenes and start punishing. You know? Because He deal with Israel like what? Hey, your children, man. That's all. You know?
Continuing on. So I was perplexed when I saw how you tolerate sinners and do not punish them, how you protect your enemies and yet destroy your own people.
Hey, because what the scripture say, to whom much is given,
Much is required.
And the brother was breaking down how what? We was given that law. So we was given that law and it was much required of us, man. Because we were supposed to represent him in the earth.
Yeah.
He that wasn't given the law to be his representation in the earth. We were. So we're judged on a different scale. You know? Because we're supposed to be the head nation in the earth. The scripture said what? You shall be above. Well, that comes with responsibility. If we supposed to be the above, well, there's a different standard that he judges us in, man. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 31. You haven't given the faintest hint as to how these ways of yours can be changed. Surely Babylon is no better than Jerusalem. No other nation except Israel has ever known you or accepted your covenants.
Yep, so no other nation but Israel has known you accepted your covenant when it came with a responsibility, man. Okay? So that's why even even when you're the oldest child,
Yeah.
there's a different standard that you're held to than everyone else. Yep. Okay?
Baby, the child getting away with everything.
Yeah.
The youngest.
Yep. So they just trying to, relate their judgment they're going through in Babylon, but no. We came into agreement with the Lord. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 32. No, it's like verse 33.
Yeah,
but
Joshua.
Israel was never rewarded and never profited from its labor. I have traveled widely in the other nations, and I have seen how prosperous they are, although they don't keep your commands.
Yeah, and see, we had prosperity in King David, King Solomon, even going back to Adam. Okay, but what happened? We failed. Okay? Because it's a privilege to be in leadership, man. You know? And we didn't appreciate that privilege, and we fell away. Okay? So you have what Ezra. Yeah, he's complaining, okay? But then he's not looking at, okay, when we were in our prosperity, what happened, man? Right? Yeah, Adam, failed. I said King Solomon, he went into paganism. Okay, the kingdom was rent, divided, you had civil war amongst the tribes. Well, the Lord gave us prosperity. That's why Deuteronomy said 32 and 15 said, just your own life back and keep. That means when we were prosperous, we got proud.
Yeah.
Okay? You got it.
Yeah, come. This is Baruch 4:1. It says, this is the book of the commandments of the Most High and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
Yeah, so here it is. You have this law, like the brothers get into, and the law covers everything for living and peace and prosperity in the earth. All right, here we go. Like when you go into the law, it's the wisdom of the Most High when it comes to day-to-day living. You see?
Yeah.
And we was the only nation that He gave it to. Okay? So going back to getting the law was a privilege. But the thing was, we was in flesh that couldn't uphold to the fulfillment of the law. And let's say the law,
Prosperity behind us. Because the reason why King Solomon was set up is because of his wisdom and how he was able to rule the people righteously with the law of Yahweh. But when he went left, he started worshiping the Most God, everything went left.
it shows you that even with Yahweh, how he was always judged on the people's scale. Because when he goes up, in Adam and
We never got another kingdom like that again.
Nah.
But really, ain't no nation on the planet ever had a rule like that. That 40-year short rule was still the greatest rule on earth.
Yeah, you look up how much King Solomon had, like comparing it to now, it's like shit.
Yeah.
I can't remember the number.
Yeah,
Like,
it really ain't a number.
nah.
Because they can't calculate everything that
Yeah, yeah, right. Nigga talking about
they were
inflation.
sacrificing millions of sheep a day. You gotta understand that you're able to sacrifice
A million sheep.
where is that coming from?
How many you got on stock?
Yeah, then you
Right.
get daily provision. Okay? But going back into it, what was King Solomon like for the giving? That was all happening under the obedience of the Lord.
That's it.
You see?
That's it.
So this is what we're fighting to get back to. But we're gonna have to show, all right,
You in Baruch 4?
you
Yeah.
through faith. You know?
28.
Okay. Baruch 4:28, it says, "For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek Him 10 times more."
That goes back to brother lesson at the beginning, going into why we're here. Yep. Seek the Lord 10 times more to get back to their glory. Okay, Yahweh Shai, he gave us an example. Yahweh Shai showed what? Obedience. Okay, in what? Pax Romana, man. Okay, in the height of the Roman Empire, he was obedient. He kept the law perfect.
Got women.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Got women.
And he had power. You know what I'm saying? Like he had spiritual power. So he could have been famous. He could have went to the Coliseum and showed out. He could have took down the whole legion by himself. He could have been the biggest celebrity that ever was.
Wasn't prophecy.
Yeah. But no, he came, he kept it humble, and he stuck to the mission. Now he kept the law perfectly because that was his life. But what did he do? He taught us obedience unto death. Stick to the mission. Don't get sidetracked. Look, because his blood covered us where we fall short in the law. So we can complete the mission. Yahweh Shai made it doable for us to complete the mission. So when we fall short in the law, we cover. And we still got to complete the mission. We can't get sidetracked. We can't get caught up in new wrong. No, we got to stick to the mission of righteousness even in the face of death.
Can't go straight.
Yep.
Because like the thing, because I remember it was a lesson earlier this week when I was off by DNU where these guys was coming up with like another group and they was asking them, are y'all sinners? They said no. But see, that's over their head. They don't understand that the Lord judges the heart. Whenever the Lord forgave somebody in his time, what he say? Sin no more.
There you go.
Did that mean they never sinned again? No. It was the mindset that when you did sin, you had a repentant, contrite heart towards that sin, and you turned away from it. You know, you was what's the word? Contrite. You was contrite, yeah. You was contrite. You regretted that you did. You were sorry that you did that.
Remorseful.
Sin. But a sinner doesn't have that heart. He just living in that lifestyle, and he don't. Man, this me. Presumption. He's sinning presumption. You know.
And even when you go into sin no more, just to add to what you're saying, you haven't celebrated Christmas since you came
That's
to
what I'm
the
saying. We
Yeah.
shut out years,
you know?
Yeah.
Things that we can't keep.
We keep.
We keep 100%.
That's it. That's it.
Things that we can keep.
That's
We can't
it.
keep the law 100%. That's it. But we don't celebrate Christmas anymore. We don't intentionally eat pork. No. Eat some fake shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All down like dang.
Yep.
But we don't intentionally eat unlawful food.
We don't intentionally go after women
Yep.
that's married.
Yep.
You know.
You don't
So
intentionally go
that's
to
a
work.
mindset.
Yep.
A sinner versus someone that sins is a mindset.
Yeah.
Because we've all sinned, and we still are in a sinful flesh, so we can't, get around it.
Yeah.
Because we do things that we don't even know. But we do know that we're not supposed to sin, and we do know what sin is. And we go after righteousness, we don't go after sin. That's what the Lord meant by sin no more. Don't go after sin. It goes over their head.
And Christians say, man, have the house of blood of the house, but we have no idea. They say the blood of Jesus, they have no idea what that means.
Nope. This is Revelation 12:10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony.
Yeah, so the blood of the Lamb has us slain. Yeah, as long as we stay within the obedience. Because what was Howard shot emphasizing in the gospel? Love thy brother as thyself. Yep. Love the Most High with all thy heart, mind, and soul. Be my sheep. Be my sheep. Yep. Go out to the highways and byways. Yep. Be into the marriage. Yep. So even what we're doing now, this is making us blameless.
This is actually what covers us more than anything.
Yep.
You know? Now mind you, you can't just be a wicked ass nigga and come out here, but the Lord gonna remove you anyway. You can't even come out here if you're not operating within the righteousness of your home by shooting out shot. You're not rehearsing the right acts, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. If you a straight up nigga coming down here, you're gonna be rooted out.
And they loved not their lives unto the death.
Yeah, that's the thing, they love not their lives to the death. Which means that what? We picked up a new life. The old life that we had, we don't have no love for them, man. Nope. You know, who we used to be, we don't have any love for them anymore, man. Yep. And when it comes to your house shot, our life don't matter. Okay, we constantly, because we're making those sacrifices daily for your house shot. And see, your house shot is that mediator that's able to receive these sacrifices and it's acceptable by the Heavenly Father. Right? So the Lord, your house shot set it up, okay, for us to win. Okay, he gave us a format that's real doable, man. Do right by your brother. Yep. Teach this word in season out of season. Love the Most High with all our heart, mind, and soul. Feed the sheep and sick. You know? And rehearse the righteous acts in your best in your good.
Yeah. Well, that's a part of loving, because that's what proves you love the Most High is keeping His commandments. Yep. Say love Him with all your soul. You put everything you can into being righteous, right, towards your whole body, how shot, and that's keeping His word. You put everything you can into it. That's the difference between a sinner and someone that has sinned before. You know.
So Lord will you, brother. All right, man, sister, everybody, give all praise and glory unto you.
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Kakadash.
Double honors unto the apostle, man, the elders, children, who will keep well, being for example, towards all the brothers. Peace and blessings, salutations, hope you love. Shalom.
Shalom.